Hello! Welcome to VTuber Verdict, Am I the Asshole Edition, the series where we dive headfirst into Reddit's most fiery Am I the Asshole posts. From scandalous confessions to the most outrageous dilemmas, I'll be sharing my unfiltered opinions and breaking down the most cutting comments from the community. Let's wade into the juicy drama and lay down the verdict, delivered with all the sass and judgment you'd expect from yours truly. All right, I hope you have your tea because this one is gonna be controversial. The title is Am I the Asshole for Telling My Girlfriend I Have Every Right to Defend My Home After Someone Started Kicking My Door In? I, 27 male, and my girlfriend, 26 female, have been together for 2 years. I'm a black man raised in the inner city. She's a white girl from the suburbs. We grew up different. And normally that's okay, but last week someone tried to break into my house and it started causing problems. I'm taking care of my mother now that she's getting up in age. She just had surgery on her legs and cannot walk. I need to stress this. She physically cannot support herself, so I'm doing everything for her. Her bedroom is in the back of the house, right next to the back door that leads to the porch. At 2 a.m. last Wednesday, my mom calls me scared, saying someone's trying to break into the house and she could hear them banging on the back door. My girlfriend was staying with me in my bedroom when I got the call. I jumped up, grabbed my gun, and ran to the back and started yelling for whoever was there to get away because they were still banging on the door when I got there. Things got quiet, so I checked the camera on the porch and I saw them standing there. It was 3 people, and one of them said, "Kept going, it doesn't matter." So I used the speaker on my camera to say, "I have a weapon, it's loaded, and if you kick that door one more time, I will shoot." My girlfriend is behind me at that point, screaming not to shoot them, and it isn't worth it. The 3 people on the porch don't move, so I put my phone down, cock my weapon, and say I'm going to count to 3. And if you aren't gone by the time I get to 3, I'm firing. As soon as I counted 1, they ran away. And my girlfriend was screaming at me that there's never a reason to threaten to shoot someone. Ever. I told her we are not having this discussion right now and we need to call the police. Yes, I should have done earlier, but I was too worried about my mother to think about it. The police get called, they come out and see shoe prints on my fence and on the back door from where they were kicking and start patrolling the area, but don't find them. When the police leave, my girlfriend starts yelling at me and saying she can't believe I'd be willing to shoot someone because they kicked my door. I said it isn't about the house. It's the fact that my mother is laying in bed helpless just a few feet from the door, and they could have done anything. Stole things, killed her, raped her, a combination. I have no idea, and I wasn't taking any chances. She says there is never a reason to hurt or kill someone, ever, because violence isn't the answer. It just makes you like the person you're hurting. I told her the only reason she thinks violence isn't the answer is because she's never had someone try to physically harm her before. And I'm not going to apologize for what I did because I had every right to defend myself, my home, my mother, and her. She's been angry at me ever since and will barely even speak to me. I'm trying to consider her perspective, I really am, but I'm not going to give up my ability to defend myself because she doesn't believe violence will ever be necessary. Am I the asshole? Ooh, okay. I have some thoughts, but it is, again, this topic is controversial. I will admit that. Let's look at a few of the comments. First, top comment. Not the asshole. You did what you had to do to protect your mom and everyone in the house. Like they were legit trying to break in. Your girl has never been in that kind of situation, so she doesn't get it. But you weren't out here being reckless. You were defending your fam. Very good point. Another top comment, not the asshole. Tell your girlfriend that if she cannot handle you defending your mother, then she is not the woman for you. I don't know if this is going to be a deal breaker. For a lot of people, it is. Oh, okay. Here's something that I was thinking of. The commenter goes, "Oh, hell no. It's a concern that your girlfriend was more worried about some asshole robbers than you protecting her home, your mother, and her. What if they did break in and have weapons of their own? Logically, you did what anyone would do with common sense. Her reaction makes no sense. So she wants them to possibly break in and harm all of you instead of defending yourself? Where's the logic in that? It's not like you unnecessarily pulled a gun on someone casually knocking on your door. These intruders were trying to frighten you in the middle of the night for a reason." I agree. Okay. I think the consensus it looks like the consensus in the comments section here is not the asshole. And I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree. I will say in my younger years, right, I had the same perspective as the girlfriend, that it was never worth getting violent, right? But like the original poster said, okay, if you're able to say that, you have lived a privileged life where you did not encounter violence like that, okay? And I admit I did. And that was part of the reason I still held on to that view, because I couldn't in my mind picture any scenario where violence was the answer, right? Even in dire circumstances, I truly felt violence was not the answer. However, I now agree with the original poster, right? I agree that you have a right to defend yourself and your family and your friends, whoever's close to you that you want to defend, right? Especially in your home. I am very much the type of person that considers my home my safe place. It is my sanctuary. It is the place in the world where I actually feel safe. Like there's no hint of a doubt that I am unsafe, right? And if someone came banging on the door trying to break in, I am going to protect that safe space and myself. I agree with the original poster in defending yourself, and I would contest that he was actually the reasonable, rational person in this situation, right? He said the girlfriend was yelling during the whole encounter. That's not going to help. That's not going to help the situation. That's just going to inflame emotions, get people more riled up, get people more possibility of doing reckless things, right? Who knows? Maybe if the girlfriend yelling and screaming got the intruders even more worried, that they actually did break down the door and did something, right? Her screaming could have inflamed the situation. Him getting his gun and not shooting it was the rational decision. He warned the intruders. He warned them twice, I believe. I believe it was twice, verbally, and then the second one when he cocked his gun, right? So it's not like he grabbed his gun and went shooting at them, right? That didn't happen. He was just verbally warning them that he would if they took further steps to get into the house. I totally agree with original poster in this, but like I said, I understand where the girl is coming from. If you've lived a life where you haven't encountered violence like that, it's hard. It's really, really hard to imagine the feelings in that moment that people go through, right? It's something that a lot of times, if you haven't been through it, then you can't accurately relate to it. And thus, I would argue that you can't make an argument on the topic, right? The girlfriend being in her privileged position, I feel like she shouldn't be able to argue this, especially again, it's his house. It's his house. At least I think that's what the original poster said. He mentioned it several times that this was his house, right? If they were all staying at her house, if she was housing the boyfriend and his mother, That might be a different scenario, maybe, because it's not his space, it's her space. And if that was the case, if she was in her space, didn't want that happening, then I feel like the boyfriend would, at that point, make it a deal breaker. Because, especially if he was going to respect her wishes, right? He could be an asshole. He could be an asshole and gaslight her into making a different decision, into being okay with having weapons in her safe space, in her house, right? That is 100% the asshole move. Or he could take the actual good position of, if that's what she wants in her house, that's fine. That's her decision. But I'm not okay with that. So I'm going to separate myself from the situation, right? So I kind of, on this one, I do see both points. I really do. And I hate to say it, but I feel sorry for the girlfriend, right? And not that she hasn't encountered something like that, but how do I phrase this? The fact that she can't relate to it, right? She's so far in the fog that she can't even imagine the other side. And even if it's a not great situation like this, I feel like it is added life experience, and it does help you relate to just humans in general around you, right? I feel like the broader your experiences, good and bad, it helps you relate to people. And I think that is a very good thing in the long run. Let me look at these comments. I want to see if I find asshole on here. Yada, yada, yada. Girlfriend is wrong here. Not the asshole. Yeah, everyone's saying not the asshole here. Okay, we got a perspective right here. White women here. I would have done the same as you. Your girlfriend, I wouldn't say she's insane. I would say she's just not informed, maybe not informed, but she can't empathize with the situation, right? Scroll. Okay, I like this one. Old white woman here. Did she really think that was a good time to discuss home invasion plans? Okay. I agree. That goes towards the whole, her reaction was not good at all for the situation. Her screaming was one thing. Her trying to discuss the plan in the heat of the moment, that was another bad move. She did not make the greatest decisions in this scenario, but it is her first time encountering something like that. So it's understandable. Understandable. Let's see. Okay. These comments, I think there's one here. Yeah, maybe the girlfriend was in on it. Honestly, was she in on it or something? I can understand why people would think that, right? If the girlfriend was scheming with some other accomplices to try and rob the house, that is entirely a possibility. I just don't think it's likely. The fact that she's being housed in his house tells me that she is already getting something out of the relationship, I guess. And I hate to make this a transactional thing, but relationships are kind of transactional. It doesn't have to be material. At all. It could be emotional transactions, right? And at the base of it, she was already receiving something from this. So I don't think this was her scheming with other people to rob the house. I just think she was in a scenario she didn't understand and made a couple bad decisions. Okay. Looks like I am on board with the posters here. Broad consensus. Again, I know this can be controversial, especially for those who might not be in the US and aren't used to using weapons to defend yourself, or I know some places in the US have stand your ground laws that make it completely okay to shoot someone on your property. That's another topic entirely. But in this scenario, I think original poster did the right thing. And I do empathize. I'm sorry. Empathize with the girlfriend. I do. I was like that when I was younger. It took real life experiences for me to change my mind. It did. And, maybe after she has time to sit back and think about this encounter, she might change her mind on this topic as well. And the verdict on this one? Not the asshole. At least my take on it. But what do you think? Was I spot on, or do you see it differently? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this little dive into Reddit drama, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can spill more tea together next time. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.